What's up? It's Keith Kalfas with the Landscaping Employee Trap, and in this video, I'm at home today, downstairs in my basement studio, and I'm doing some whiteboarding and strategy stuff, and I wanted to share with you about self-limiting beliefs. A couple things that I want to cover real quick. If you're new to the channel, what's up? I'm Keith. I make thousands of videos about landscaping all the way back since 2014. Thank you so much. We just hit 90,000 subscribers, and I really started this channel by me struggling, living in a small one-bedroom apartment in debt, with debt collectors calling me, scared, leaving a dead-end lawn care job to get my own landscaping business off the ground. I was able to get the business off the ground within 6 weeks by posting Craigslist ads, knocking on doors, and just being terrified. And then I was so angry after I left my job and replaced my income in only 6 weeks that it took me about 24 months to get the business up to $100,000 in revenue just by straight up working my tail off. And I was even more angry, and I had this sense of retribution, and because I said, why was I stuck in a dead-end job for 12, 15 years? Making minimum wage, or what felt like minimum wages. JOB just over broke. Bob Proctor says that. But anyways, when you literally can go out and hustle and get your own business off the ground. Now, just because you got it off the ground doesn't mean that you've got your shit together. I mean, it's a nonstop uphill battle for what seems like could be forever. And if you don't get around the right people and get the right mentorship to help you overcome your self-limiting beliefs and work through your own head trash, you can really box yourself into a corner in being your own boss where you feel alone. You can get frustrated. You can have moments of feeling great and feeling like you're successful, and then literally the next day be down in the dumps in this up-down emotional roller coaster and learning all this stuff on once, and also the fears revolving around. Let me put this on a tripod. I'm actually on my phone right now. I have this fancy studio and cameras and things that I've dreamed about having my entire life, and now that I have them, I'm making this video on a cell phone. Go figure, right? It's a little lesson. Sometimes just getting your message up and getting it out there and executing is a little bit more important than trying to have the best of the best. Just get out there and do it, right? But what I want to say is, I just got off the phone. And I do want to tell you before I tell you this, I don't have it all figured out myself at all. I have bad days all the time. And I think that's what's made this channel get so many views over the years, is just me being transparent and authentic. And I try not to post negative content, but I have really negative days sometimes, right? But anyways, so I was on the phone yesterday with my friend Jacob Godar. He's in Georgia. He's got $1 million landscaping company. He's blowing my mind. He's telling me, I met Jacob Godar in the GIE Expo in Kentucky. We were hanging out with Tigran and Angel Cortez and a bunch of other guys out there, and DJ Carroll and all that stuff, and Brian Fullerton and B&B and all those guys. And I met Jacob Godar out there. We also hung out in Miami too. Yeah, the Grant Cardone conference. Anyways, Jacob's a smart guy. He's got a YouTube channel. You could check him out. And one video he posted was talking about breaking down your man-hour rate. And he's going through his finances and Excel spreadsheet and going through P&Ls and stuff like that. And I was like, this guy's got his shit together. So I called him up yesterday because I was a little frustrated. My phone is ringing off the hook in my business. Learning how to do marketing is a very good skill, but it can overwhelm you because, I have 100 missed phone calls right now. My voicemail inbox is full. And there's no point in even having a calling center or a secretary manage it because we just don't have the capacity to deal with it. And I'm talking about growth and expansion in the lawn and landscaping business, and expanding a business without having your sales, your man-hour rate right, and having enough revenue per day coming in per truck. It doesn't make sense to have a bunch of liability out there unless you're getting paid for it, right? If the risk far outweighs the liability, and what I mean is like some numbnuts texting while he's driving and smashes into something, and now you've got this huge headache. And I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just trying to be realistic. Or a guy is on a rider and spins around and just smokes someone's air conditioner. It costs you like $2,500, and now you're getting bad reviews. There's a lot of good things that can happen, but what he told me, he's talking about, how much he charges per lawn and what they're doing per day. I was like, what? I thought my prices were high, man. Like, I have already been raising my prices every single year. Don't you raise your prices every year and you're afraid you're going to lose your clients? You got these clients hanging on that have been your clients forever, and you have this like moral obligation to them because, they're the ones that are always going to be there. Like, you're afraid if you let go of those core clients that you have to move upwards and onwards, what if a drought happens in your business and you lose all these new shiny customers that are going to pay you more, and then you go running back to your old clients? I'm sorry, I was wrong. I know that I left you for something better, but we have all these conflicting thoughts. I'm bringing that up because when you have a wave of requests that comes in for your time and your energy, and you only have so much energy to go around, what bread and butter clients do you keep and hold on to? It's like shedding skin. It's painful. And we've raised our prices tremendously. And now we have a minimum, $300 minimum to even show up on the property. We do landscaping and window cleaning, both. We do a lot more landscaping, especially this year because COVID and going inside of people's homes just isn't working right now. But now in landscaping, that's jumped up to a $500 minimum just to show up on the property to do any maintenance. And now I'm actually strongly considering it's got to be a $700 minimum just to show up on somebody's property. And if you have a crew, it's got to do $1,000 a day to even make anything even worth it. And I could talk about this forever, but all I'm saying is I got this whiteboard in front of me, and I really think that you got to press the big red stop button. I got a marker here. I'm looking for my marker. And really look at what's going on to see where you're at. And another thing is doing your books. If you don't have time to do your bookkeeping, which I know I didn't, if you don't have a P&L statement, you don't even know where you're at. Is this permanent marker? You don't know where you're at. So I broke down and I was going on Upwork.com looking for a bookkeeper. Because I already have an accountant. You should have an accountant and all that stuff, right? It's not too expensive. But you're like, wow, bookkeeper. That's crazy. Every penny you make is gone. I found Dan Platta from Blue Skies Bookkeeping. This guy's awesome. I'll put a link below for Dan Platta. I got to remember whenever I shot people out, so they can track it. And based off the size of your company, it's not even that expensive at all. And this guy literally goes in to your bank account and it's a little vulnerable. But what happens is each month he spits out a P&L report. You could do a deep dive and learn what's going on in your business, your profit margins, the amount of revenue coming in, what you're spending on marketing and payroll and expenses and all that stuff, right? And then you can see, this is where I'm at. Okay. I remember I was hanging out with DJ Carroll. We were in Phoenix, Arizona at a live event. Walking down the street with him. And he's like, I'm like, well, who handles all the work? He's like, well, my crews. I'm like, okay, well, who picks up the phones? He's like, the secretary. I'm like, well, who manages all the invoicing and the billing and the payments and all that stuff and the administrative? He goes, my office manager. I'm like, well, who balances all the books? He's like, my bookkeeper. I'm like, but who does all the accounting? He's like, my accountant. I'm like, but what if there's a legal issue and something goes wrong? He's like, My attorney handles that. I'm like, what? But what about all this business that you say you have out of state? How do you even go do it? He's like, my subcontractors do that. I'm like, what? Then we go hang out in his high-rise apartment overlooking Louisville. And I'm like, ah! You got to start fucking hanging out with these geniuses, man. And get the fuck away from the losers, man. The people who bring you down and criticize you, don't believe in your dreams because they don't have any dreams of your own, and they tell you that you can't do shit because they can't do it. I tell you, man, if you're a big fish in a small pond, there's a problem. You gotta be a small fish in a big pond where you feel vulnerable and anxious being around these people, man. You're like, I thought I was the shit. I get around these guys and girls and I realize I feel like a fucking loser. You gotta get around people who, like, you literally go home, bite your nails saying, I gotta get my shit together. And it goes on and on and on. I understand life is a beautiful gift. It's a wonderful thing. Have opportunity, and if you have your health, you have wealth. But what I really like is like what Tony Robbins said, modeling what other people have done who have gone before you, have gone through the minefield, have been in the trenches. And the funniest thing is, I was listening to Bob Proctor. No. Joseph Rodriguez on YouTube. I don't watch a lot of YouTube because I'm so busy making videos and running my business, but I do watch some YouTube, and I have some favorite YouTube and lawn and landscape YouTubers and things like that. But I do watch some Joseph Rodriguez. He's just a guy that does book reviews. And he does reviews of like Think and Grow Rich and Bob Proctor and like all this mindset stuff. And sometimes late at night I'll turn him on, and he said, what book was this? It was like The Power of the Subconscious Mind or something. Basically, he was saying your relationship, and this, like, the last 2 weeks has blown my mind off one thing, because that's what we're really looking for. We're looking for an aha. Let me write it. I hope this ain't a permanent marker. I have to use this. We're looking for an aha. We're looking for an epiphany. You might have 5, 6, or 7 like epiphanies in your lifetime. And that's kind of the goal, is to get these epiphanies where these dots in your mind, like they're actual synaptic connections, like a real physical wiring. Like all of a sudden one dot will, a synapse will happen. But because it connected the dots, it's the one dot that goes and connects all these other dots, and you go, wow! Oh my God. In the past week, I've hired 4 people, 4 virtual assistants all over the world. And I'm interviewing and hiring 1 more and possibly another. And I already have 7. And I'm like, this is insane on the internet side of my business, because we do a ton of landscaping already. But because you just start to see that you're the only one holding yourself back, and you ask yourself these questions. Well, like, how am I going to hire somebody if I don't have the money? I'm going to get back to what I was saying about the Joseph Rodriguez thing about, how am I going to do this if I can't do this? How do I going to you let the fear control you? He said, you have to develop a relationship with the unknown. If you're so afraid of the unknown and you're too afraid to do it, so you keep learning more about it. Oh, I don't want to do it, so let me learn more about it. You feel like you're actually going crazy because you can't stop studying and researching and asking questions, and you keep bumping up against these walls in your mind because you're so afraid to just take the step. Because if you take the step, you feel like it's going to be a Chinese finger trap. Like you stick your finger in that thing and then it's your finger. Am I allowed to say that now? So you can watch every little thing you say. You figured you're going to open up a Pandora's box or step through a trap door that once you get in, you can't get out. Or once you do this thing, you're afraid, like kind of like going on payroll. You're terrified to go on payroll. What if I go on payroll? Oh my God, no, I can't get out. I don't know. It's like whatever you do, now you're in it and you can't get off that roller coaster, right? Well, the funniest thing is, once you just take a step forward into it, and you can even perceive it in your brain as I'm just going to do it as an experiment. You have to develop a relationship with the unknown. Say, I'm willing to step into the unknown. And a lot of times I get angry because I'm like, well, that means just spend money. Just, what do you mean? Just spend all your money? No. But sometimes if you don't just pick up the phone and make that call, or you didn't just go walk into the store and try that thing out, or you don't just book that plane ticket and go do that thing, or call up that property manager and try to sell that job, you have to take the action in the physical world. And that's the one thing that's stopping you, is your relationship to the unknown. We are afraid of the unknown because it's like the saber-toothed tiger chomping away at our bottom line. We feel the ego, it's trying to protect us from annihilation and death. So we avoid the unknown because we know what we know, and we know that at least this is working. As long as we work our ass off and keep running like a rat on a wheel, it'll work. But I don't want to step into the unknown. And it's simple as just crossing this little membrane. Boop. Oh, it's like you could just dip your toe in the water in anything. I'm really onto this lately, and I'm having all these epiphanies. I'm very excited about it. Quick thing before I forget. This is a window cleaning thing, but the International Window Cleaning Association, which is the IWCA, 2021 January, Vegas. They're having their annual live convention. Come out there. They've invited me to be the keynote speaker, which is awesome, man. This is a dream come true. So I'll talk more about it in the future. If you happen to do window cleaning, check me out on my Window Cleaning Blueprint YouTube channel. We just crossed the 12,000 subscriber mark. Window Cleaning Blueprint channel, I'll put a link in the description below. All window cleaning stuff right there. I used to put it all on this channel, but at some point a couple years ago, I split it up. Some people ask me, like, Keith, do you still do window cleaning? I'm like, yeah, of course, but I don't put it on this channel as much anymore. My other channel is called I Am Ability. It's a book about it's a channel about consciousness and mindset and all those type of crazy epiphanies. If you are a weird deep diver, check out that channel over there, I Am Ability. I'm very, very proud of the people that I see in this community and all the cats that are coming up and showing off how they're getting their businesses off the ground and to the next level, posting on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Just phenomenal examples of being a role model and leadership. And which another important part of that is, when you're tied up in your own business, making moves and getting around other people who have a mindset of wanting to be proactive and move forward, it also keeps you out of trouble. My heart goes out to the people who get tangled up in drugs and alcohol. And I just pray for you. And I hope that you knock that stuff real soon. And I just felt called to say that. And get around other people who are crushing it. Get over your self-limiting beliefs, any feelings of unworthiness you have by getting around and finding mentors. Find a mentor. Hang out with people who got their shit together and who are getting their shit together, right? I speak about that sometimes on this channel because I come from a history. I never was addicted to drugs or alcohol myself because I saw what it did to the people that I loved, and it broke my heart. My own mother died of a drug overdose, a heroin overdose, and it hurt my family and it hurt me, and it's taken years, and I'll never overcome it. And so I know that when you're subject to all these different things growing up, it makes you, you have two choices, the blue pill or the red pill. Do you want to go that way, or do you want to fight and be? This is another powerful thing. I'm talking fast because I got so much to do. I was at a live convention once, and this leader, his name was Chris Brady. I followed him outside after he got off stage. It was kind of weird, but he was getting in his Mercedes. I was like, dude, I got to talk to you. I was just reaching out, right? I said, man, I grew up from such a poor family and I want to be successful so bad. Is there a possibility that I could be successful one day? I was like 18. He says, you know what? Maybe you can be the one. You're going to be the one that turns the tide of your entire family's history. You're going to be the one that changes everything. You're going to be the one that erases the old stuff, turns the tide of your family's finances. And then from you, the buck stops with you. And that takes having courage, it takes being bold, and it takes having difficult conversations, drawing lines in the sand and creating healthy boundaries, right? And what I mean by that, I got all this stuff here. Look at that, my live event, the Marketing ROI Live Workshop. We're thinking about throwing that event in spite of COVID. Let me know in the comments below if you would come to my live event in Michigan. We're going to throw this live event. These healthy boundaries I'm talking about are, here it is, like this. Watch. You let everybody know. You make an announcement. You say, hey, on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 p.m., I am going to be doing X. And then you do that. People are going to go nuts at first. They're not going to like it. Where's Keith or Joe on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m.? He's doing that thing. Yeah, he thinks he's going to manage his books, or he's going to go out in the garage and work on stuff, or study or pursue his dreams. We ain't having it. I'll beat him over the head with a frying pan. But if you just keep doing that thing, every Wednesday night, it develops a habit, then everybody just gets with the program, and then they can actually relax as well. Go, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just do my thing. Because they know now it's law. Once they know that there's no arguing, and they know, and this could apply to anything. You could say, like every Saturday morning, I put out a video. I'll put a link in the description below to Saturday Finances. Every Saturday I wake up. People who know me know, I'm doing it. Come hell or high water. I don't care if I'm on vacation. I have to do my Saturday Finances because not only is it an ambitious thing, but I'm terrified of losing everything because I grew up very poor, right? And this one habit has changed my entire life. I'll put a link below. We just put out a blog post article to keithkalfas.com/blog, all about Saturday Finances. It's coming out right now. But, on Saturday mornings you do why? And Sundays, I don't know what you like to do Sundays. Do you have a spiritual thing? Do you like to sleep in? Do you like to go to church? But you do that thing and you maintain a consistency. Now you're putting constraints. You say, I don't like to have these constraints where I got to do all these things, right? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you don't have boundaries in your life and frameworks and structure, then your life is just going to spill all over the place. And not only will you have an unhealthy relationship with yourself, but that you'll have unhealthy relationships with the people around you because they can never count on you for anything because you're always just spilling all over the place. It's a healthy balance. So, because like every Tuesday night we have date night with my wife. Actually, this last Tuesday we were so busy. It was like the first time in months we had like half a date night. And I think we like watched half a movie and fell asleep. Really busy week. So what does that tell you right there? That this video's all over the place, but it tells you that the rule can be broken, but you keep setting the intention and setting the rule, and it starts to carve a path in the physical world and in your neurology, in your psychology, right? And then so you can move forward. So I got this crazy battle boards going on here. Like I went crazy before. All these battle boards, planning and scheduling a to-do list and calendars and stuff. And Having people that hold you accountable is very important. But at some point, I think that you get so frustrated that one day you just snap. So I can't take it anymore. I'm making a cup of coffee. I'm getting this. I'm getting on the whiteboard. Or go straight to Office Depot and go get yourself a whiteboard right now and just get all your thoughts out, take pictures of it, get sticky notes. If you can't do it at home, go to the library, find an app or a Trello board, or just get out there and take massive action. Or maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're so burned out that you just need a week off. If you're gonna go on your calendar, maybe you're booked a month out. You say a month from now, I'm taking a week off. I don't care. I need to decompress. Whatever you require, your feeling is an important thing to you, is there for a reason. And you have to acknowledge that thing and honor that and do that and be that so you can become who you want to be. It's just so important, because I tell you, if you don't get on the path, I always say this, David Data said, he wrote a book called The Way of the Superior Man. Lock yourself in a room with a notepad and a pen and do not come out until you know your purpose. Because the longer you don't know that, and the longer you keep spinning your wheels frustrated, you'll just watch years of your life go by. And then you just start, you start getting like more and more frustrated. You get into desperation and despair and things like that. So if you're not able to live your highest calling and do what you want to do and be happy because you're afraid of making other people around you feel uncomfortable, and then you do it anyways, and now you feel like you're being selfish because you're so ambitious, and then you try to lower your ambitions so you don't make other people feel uncomfortable, at some point you're just gonna, just get the fuck off me, dude. I'm doing what I gotta do. It's this level of selfishness. Eben Pagan is a guy that I follow. He had a course called Wake Up Productive. His dude's done like hundreds of millions of dollars. He said it's very important, he believes, that everybody have a 2 to 3 year period in their life where they become incredibly selfish and incredibly self-centered and focused on themselves and their lives, their productivity, their success, their goals, their dreams, where they block everything else out and they just become obsessed and totally selfish. And another thing my buddy Coach Rob taught me, hear no and say no with no residue. When you get to the point where you can hear no and speak no, and there's no residue, hey, can you come help me do this thing? I know it's random and I know it's Thursday or Sunday, but I need you to help me move. Will you help me move this weekend or now? Or can you come rescue me? No, I can't. I'm already booked out with obligations and priorities, and my name is on the line in ink for 6 weeks to over 100 people. And I can't squeeze you in. I'm sorry. Your lack of planning is not my emergency. Now, if somebody's broken down and it's a family member, you got to go help them, right? Of course. But what's weird is if every time somebody has an emergency, they know that they can call you and they're not responsible for taking care of their own bullshit, now you become that person that's always running around doing everything everybody else, and now you're becoming more and more miserable, trapped in this weird cycle of codependency and guilt. And you can't get your fucking dreams together and your life together. So having discernment and clarity around those things is so important. And it's very complex, and the more you grow, the more complex all this stuff goes. And I think it's very important to have a healthy relationship with yourself and a healthy interior space so that you can have a healthy exterior space. All this shit. Like, you see some of these people that have these $1 million businesses. Some of them are a complete mess. Some of them really actually got their shit together. And I think that maybe the guy who doesn't have a multi-million-dollar business, but or a girl who is successful and well-rounded, who are they behind closed doors when you don't see them on social media? Who are they late at night? Are they studying, reading, learning, spending time with their family, exercising, meditating? Or are they out doing bad things, Never judge a book by its cover. I got to get back to work, man. I feel like I'm working right now. So excited. All right, later. My podcast just hit 120,000 downloads. The Untrapped podcast of Keith Kalfas on all major podcast platforms. Check it out. What else? I got a new online course coming out called the Landscaping Course Part 2. My brand new book is out. It's on audible.com. It's called Your First Year in the Landscaping Business. This will all be ready soon. I'll put a link in the description below. We're doing a whole thing. I can't talk too much about it, but all right, peace.